Hey guys, Andrew here from Amphlett Reviews, and today we're doing a Hong Kong content review. Straight into this review, straight into it, we have the heroic trio, directed by the legendary Johnnie Too, released in 1993. You have an amazing all-star cast, a fantastic, three of the most gorgeous women, talented, amazing talented women within the Hong Kong industry during the time, and probably still is, if I'm being absolutely honest. And we have a completely crazy Hong Kong inspired superhero based movie. It is batshit, it is crazy, it is a lot of fun, and it is one of my favourite films of this entire year. This is getting a Criterion release later down the line. I believe they've already announced some kind of screenshots and some 4K images. Oh my god, it looks so goddamn good. This film I was very confident with to get in and picking up as a blind buy anyway. My god, this film is incredible. Favourite Johnnie Too films he's made so far. This I definitely would say very close as a masterpiece to his films. And after seeing Thor Love and Thunder, which is just...
How do you fuck that up?
This was the appropriate amount of kind of comedy, bonkers, superhero fun hijinks, and just a good story, just a really good story, nice simple fun story, and it kind of highlights and kind of definitely takes advantage of the talent on screen. And you know, if without the kind of three main talent on screen, the film wouldn't necessarily work, because the film is simple, it is an origin story, it is a kind of, you know, a first introduction to these characters and to kind of establish them on screen. So what am I talking about? The heroic trio. We have the legendary actress, we have Anita Mui, who plays Wonder Woman, not copyrighted from DC's Wonder Woman, but the character's name is Wonder Woman in the film. She's some of a mask, she's kind of the vigilante known for kind of the streets, and she's the one that gets shit done. She has the mask, she has a cool ass cape, she has kind of superhuman strength, she can kind of glide a little bit kind of thing, very wushu kind of abilities of martial arts, and she's kind of our main kind of our main protector within the kind of the city itself. She's our Superman in a sense, I would say, kind of thing, and she's the one kicking some ass and, you know, being the most reliable kind of well-known kind of, you know, vigilante in the streets, given the fact that she has a good relationship with the department and people are actually kind of supporting her. There's actually a good positive nature towards her character, and people want to see her on screen in terms of the civilians, in terms of the police force, which is actually quite nice for a kind of a first entry origin story based kind of movie, in a sense, in a weird way. Not an origin story in the sense of like how these characters began, but in the sense of how this team formed, in the sense, and how this kind of, you know, almost kind of justice society kind of formed. Sorry, a lot of DC references there. But yeah, fantastic actress, really well known. I've not seen much of her movies. I don't think many of her films have got the kind of the 5-star treatment, so finally to check out more of her movies. Our second female lead in the film is Yeoh, who you know from Police Story 3, Everything and Everywhere All at Once, and a fantastic, amazing film which I absolutely recommend to everyone. An incredible actress, done countless movies. You recognise her from at least something, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, for instance, and she plays the Invisible Woman in the film, nicknamed the Invisible Woman, because she has the an ability, or at least the kind of the vials, to turn invisible, to basically go out there and assassinate a couple of key members within the actual film itself, or steal some babies, a through line through the film, which I'll get to in a minute. But she's an assassin, she's a very henchwoman to the main kind of villain character in the film. She kind of works underground, and she's going out there taking out some kind of not well-deserved people. She is kind of monitoring and kind of looking after a professor who is developing this kind of, you know, invisible kind of vial, but also is doing something specific towards the kind of the plans and the schemes of our main villain. So she's getting invested within the kind of professor character. She starts to kind of fall in love with him a little bit. So there is a humanity to her character, but she is a henchwoman first and foremost. She's an assassin. She's a badass woman that goes out there and kicks some serious ass, and she kind of gets conflict between the kind of the main three characters that were established in the film. Our third and final character, main female character in the film, is the wonderful, is the charming, is the gorgeous Maggie Cheung, who is just constantly just impressing me every single time I see her in the film. So many more movies I haven't seen of her yet. Going from kind of The Seventh Curse, where she played kind of a nerdy kind of, you know, bratty kind of character, rich character, to go to something like this, the kind of like the biker chick, massive confidence, you know, bursting full of like, you know, personality and energy. Biker chick, massive cool ass bike, you know, kind of the goggles, the kind of the look of the costume is amazing. You know, shotgun, just really kind of fantastic fiery attitude, fireball attitude. And she really kind of steals a lot of the sequences for me, for sure, personally. And she has a lot of great lines. She's a bit more of the kind of the comic sidekick a little bit compared to the other two. The other two are a lot more serious in the film. and she's there kind of calling them out them on their bullshit. She's kind of saying like, hey, look, what the guys are you talking about, kind of thing. And she's there to kind of prove herself and to kind of, you know, get herself to be well known. She's the one that's wants to be like the Wonder Woman character. She wants to be known to be the, you know, the professional for hire, in a sense, the gun for hire. You know, hey, you got a job and he's doing, hire me, pay me, and I'll get it done. Surprisingly, they don't really stop her in the film. One thing I was quite they don't really stop her. She kind of goes in there. It's just a fantastic introduction sequence with some bad guys, and she kind of just drives off, and that's it. It's like, you know, the police are so useless in this film, and they're so out of their depth a little bit to the situation going on. They don't really do anything. I mean, considering there's a few sequences here and there with them, I suppose, but this is really about the main three. It's a bit unrealistic, I suppose, in that sense, but I find it quite funny in a weird way, because you've got the police chief character. Maybe that's a bit why the police chief's character is kind of seeing the Wonder Woman kind of, you know, persona. The introduction of the film is them buying a house, redoing it up, and, you know, there's a bit of like a back and forth, you know, does he know, does he not know kind of thing, and it kind of gets a bit obvious towards the kind of the second and third act of the film, where he very much does know who she is, and, you know, kind of doesn't stand on her way. This film is fucking brilliant. I love it. Sorry, I'm just kind of overwhelmed with how much excitement. Johnnie Too doing a Wuxia style, you know, mid-90s kind of superhero-based film, before superheroes were kicking up a storm with kind of like the X-Men and Spider-Man kind of thing, and just doing an incredible fun movie. And I'm so glad now finally it's taken so many years, 20 years plus, to actually do a proper good release and get this film out there to the people. This film is great. It's so fun. The story, it's completely bonkers. You've kind of got this kind of master who lives underground who wants to steal all the babies, kind of like the specific yearly birth babies, very specific, you know, in terms of the, you know, the gender, kind of, you know, whether it doesn't matter if it's male or female, one of those, something very specific within their genes, which basically will allow, you know, the master to find who is the next emperor of China, because there needs to be another emperor of China or empress, or, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, through a specific bloodline, she will find, you know, this specific thing. It's a ritualistic thing, and you know, she wants to find who is the next heir and kind of doing evil schemes kind of thing. And she has a bunch of henchmen and henchwomen. Michelle Yeoh's character is the kind of the main star one, but you also got a few other kind of side character ones as well. You've kind of got the secondary kind of henchman villain character, which has a fantastic kind of presentation towards him, kind of thing. He has this really great flying guillotine type weapon, which basically is a kind of basket which flows on your head and basically locks in and then rips it off. Fuck yes. I love flying guillotine weapons. I keep seeing it popping up in different types of movies, and I can see why it's a really impractical weapon to some degree. It's very specific, you gotta get it just right, but it's very brutal, it's very cinematic, it's very kind of, it looks good on screen, and there's a great sequence within the kind of the second act of the film where he basically just takes a whole like bunch of civilians hostage kind of thing, and he starts doing flying guillotine shit towards these characters, and there's a really good, you know, back and forth action sequences with those moments, which is really good, and that character is really fun as well. A bit of a kind of chip on the shoulder from kind of Michelle Yeoh's character. But yeah, this is great. I don't know what to say overall in terms of what the film ultimately is going for apart from that. This is a very much using the three main characters and three gorgeous women, three fantastic talented women on screen, just kicking ass, doing fantastic wire works, proving that girls can get it done too, kind of thing. Fantastic individual characters. I love their own individual abilities and their own kind of skills, so they've all got different kind of, you know, things going on. They have a great kind of three-way fight sequence, which I think is really good. There's some good interactions in terms of characters, a bit of twists and turns, which is quite nice in the film also. There's a great, fantastic establishing shot with, you know, them two on horses and her in a motorbike. Just looks great, looks fantastic. Johnnie Too is having a blast with this film. He's having so much fun. And going from some of his more serious, kind of more slice of life type based movies, corrupted based movies, this one's like, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And, you know, it's great. They have a great sense of location as well. There's a great, like, little town they keep using, this kind of really fantastic bridge, and they use it quite often in the film, which I think is really good and looks really nice on the screen. It kind of feels like Batman a little bit. It kind of feels like an actual, like, proper living, breathing city. There's a bit of smoke, there's some civilians everywhere kind of thing. There's some great kind of outdoor sequences with, like, you know, carriages on kind of, you know, apartments and like buildings, and some great hospital sequences as well, big open set pieces. It definitely feels like an alternative universe maybe kind of thing, which kind of is maybe the getting away kind of feature of some of the more ludicrous sequences in the film. Great performances by everyone. Everyone gets an appropriate amount of screen time. Some nice kind of comedy moments, and some nice kind of serious kind of tragic moments. Considering how batshit this film is in terms of stealing babies and killing babies, I think maybe in one sequence. Yeah, it's pretty ballsy. I don't know what rating this would land in the UK, but this film definitely doesn't care. It's definitely got its violence, definitely got its fun nature to it. And yeah, it's a complete blast from start to finish. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this film. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on the Heroic Trio. I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to say every detail about this film. Please go and check it out if you can. The Criterion is coming out later in the year. There's some screenshots available online. Go and check it out for yourself. I had a great time with this film. I think it's Johnnie To's best film for me for sure. I would definitely say this is nearly a masterpiece in terms of just the way it's kind of executed and the way it's delivered. You've got three of the best kind of Hong Kong actresses ever on screen doing very, very fun stuff in terms of just presenting their personality, presenting their charm, their kick-assery nature. They're the best aspects are on screen for sure. Great supporting cast, great main villain. Some wacky, crazy sub-story with like, you know, Empress and babies kind of thing. Flying guillotine weapons sub-villains. Badass sequences, great music choices, great locations. And just a real all-round fun film. I can't wait to watch this one again very soon for sure. And I'm looking forward to checking out the sequel, which is The Executioners, which I've heard kind of mixed opinions. Not many people like it as much as the first one, but I don't know much about that film. I don't know what it is. So I'm looking forward to checking that one very, very soon. So please go stay tuned for that review also. I'll be doing a review for that when I can as well. So in the meantime, now for the reviews, signing out.